Sir?
The previous administration also told the country to prioritize criminal gangs. Are you telling the country now that it didn't? And if you're not, what is different about your approach as compared to the previous administration's approach with MS-13 and those gangs like it?
Well, I can tell you that the prior administration prioritized criminals, not security threats. But the difference is, for those that criminal aliens get booked in a county jail, on the prior administration, they needed a conviction before we can even put a detainer on and ask for them to come in our custody. That's not necessary anymore. If you've been arrested for a serious crime and you're in a county jail, we're going to drop a detainer. We're going to take the person in the custody.
What does that mean, dropping a detainer?
That means we're asking the local jurisdiction to hang on to them until we can get there to take custody of them when they're done with you.
Has that proven effective?
Yes, I think we got more jurisdictions coming to the table now. Even, the story is, we got sanctuary cities here and there, but more jurisdictions, more law enforcement coming to the table now. The 287G agreements, we've already doubled those agreements on this administration. I expect to triple those agreements by the end of the year. Most law enforcement agrees with what I'm saying up here. The street cops, they want to work with us, and they want to identify these threats to the community and get them out of their communities. These people are not welcome in the communities, and local law enforcement are teaming up with us. The operation I spoke about here in New York City, we work with Nassau County, Suffolk County, NYPD. All these jurisdictions want to get the criminal element out of their neighborhoods. The immigrant communities themselves, they don't want these people in their communities. We all should be on the same page here. But again, New York City, one of those places where we can't get into Rikers Island and put our hands on people that are here illegally and the criminal aliens. When it comes to gang members walk out of county jails and sanctuary cities every day across this country. That's what we need to change. Man.
How are suspected gang members being identified for ICE enforcement? Is it just through local law enforcement? Are there databases that you're using? Like, how do you know how to find these gang members?
Local law enforcement, they're usually ones that, they have the most intelligence on gang members. As far as what we look for to find gang members, I'd rather not discuss that, because I certainly don't want to share that information with the gang members who may be watching and say, okay, well, we'll just do this a little bit different. There is a myriad of factors we look. It's just not, we don't arrest people for the way they look. I'm going to make that clear, because I've seen media accounts about people with tattoos and clothing. That is one of many, many factors we look at. So it's really quite law enforcement sensitive how we identify, target, and locate gang members. So I can tell you that the men and women of ICE are well trained. Other federal agencies, whether it's the Bureau or whether it's the Suffolk County, Nassau County, Nassau County, they do this for a living. They're professionals. They look at a lot of factors, including database checks. But I'd rather not share the factors we all consider to look at that, because I really don't want to share that with the criminal element who may be watching this program.
Thank you. You said that victims of crimes who are immigrants will not be targeted. In February, your agency detained a woman in El Paso, Texas, who was seeking a protective order against a domestic abuser. Can you say now that your agency will not be doing that again? And if it's been done in the past, why should we believe you that it won't be done in the future?
Okay, with that case you're talking about, you obviously don't know all the facts that I do. That is not the way. There's much more of that story than you're presenting here today. I can tell you that was a solid arrest, and it's under litigation. I can't give you all the information I have. That was a good arrest. That was a public safety arrest, and I can't say any more because it's in litigation.
One last question. You focused, and the president's going to focus tomorrow on the most violent gangs, MS-13, and suggesting that that's what ICE is focused on. I'm reading a story here from just last month that said the biggest number that ICE arrests are up of illegal immigrants, and the sharpest spike is seen for non-criminals. I think that the other side of the issue would say that ICE and this administration really is going after non-criminals and just using these moments to sort of suggest otherwise. What do you think about that?
It's ridiculous. I mean, when under prior administration, non-criminals were not a priority. So when you go from 0 to 100, of course you can see the biggest rise in that. The executive orders are clear. Anybody reads the executive orders, no population's off the table. So non-criminals, yeah, those that are got a court order from a judge that refused to leave, we're looking for them. Those who enter the country illegally, I've said it 100 times, that is a crime to enter this country illegally. And when they get their due process at great government, at great taxpayer expense, billions of dollars are spent on border security, immigration court, detention. So when they get their due process and a federal judge orders them removed, that order needs to mean something, or the whole system has no integrity. Nowhere else in law enforcement has anybody asked a law enforcement agency to ignore a judge's order from a bench. They've had a due process. Our job is to enforce those orders, and that's what we do. And for the people that say that we concentrate too much on those that are not criminals beyond them committing a crime entering the country illegally, they've not committed yet another crime, you should ignore them. They've been here. Let them go. That message drives what happened in San Antonio. That message drives what happened in Victoria, Texas, that I investigated back in 2003. If we send the message that if you get into the country, you get by the Border Patrol and don't get arrested by local law enforcement for another crime, no one's looking for you, that is a magnet, that is a pull factor. We got to stop that messaging. We got to tell people it's not okay to violate the laws of this country. You can't want to be a part of this country and not respect its laws. You can't have it both ways. So until we get that message clear, that there is no safe haven here, and if you're in sanctuary cities, that's where we'll send additional resources, look for you at your home, at place of employment. We're going to enforce the law. We got to stop sending the message that people that don't commit yet another crime should be forgotten. Don't enforce the law.
If I could, on a previous question, you said you need the cooperation of local communities. We hear that a lot from law enforcement, and including American immigrants, families that are maybe have mixed situations. The President Trump the other day called it in a speech in Ohio twice referred to criminal gang members as animals. I think there are some who would say, well, that's sort of another attempt to paint broader swaths of immigrants as criminal and violent. He wasn't that specific about who he's talking about necessarily, and I'm wondering if you think that kind of rhetoric is appropriate, or whether that could, potentially set back some of your efforts in trying to convince community members to work with your department.
As a criminal law enforcement officer, I can tell you that criminal aliens are a threat not only to public safety, but to national security. We got to enforce the laws. The men and women at ICE are doing it in a professional manner. And I shared with you the last time I was here why it's so important to let the folks know in Central America and Mexico, let those that want to come to the United States to find themselves in a sanctuary city, why it's so important to send a message they should not make that dangerous trek. In my years of 33 years of doing this job, these are criminal organizations that transport these people into the country. The same organizations, the same illicit pathways that smuggle drugs, smuggle weapons, and smuggle people that want to do harm to this country. And by continuing to ignore that segment of the illegal population, we are bankrolling these criminal organizations. As I said earlier, sanctuary cities, that's the alien smuggler's best friend. That's their advertisement. We'll get you to a sanctuary city. And I'm telling you, what I've seen in my career, I've seen people that were killed for not paying their smuggling fee. I've seen, we talked to women that have been raped, children's been molested, people have been killed. I shared with a media yesterday in Phoenix, Arizona, during the hostage crisis several years ago, people couldn't pay their fees. The fees would double once they got it. They couldn't pay the fees. We rescued one man who was duct taped from head to toe. His whole face and head were duct taped, and had a hole poked in the mouth with a straw so he could breathe for 2 days. When I was in Victoria, Texas, I did stand in back of a tractor trailer in 19 Dead Aliens with a 5-year-old that suffered. What do you think that 5-year-old went through the last 30 minutes of his life? What do you think his father went through the last 30 minutes of his life, looking down at his child, knowing he couldn't help him because they're locked him back to a tractor trailer? I'm not calling anybody animal. I'm saying there's those who break the law and those who don't break the law. You've got to respect the laws of this country. There's millions of people that are members of society that enter this country the right way. And that's what we need to push. We need to push. Enter this. There's a legal way and an illegal way. We got to be pushing the legal message out there and stop sending this message that if you don't commit yet another crime beyond the crime you committed when you came to this country, that it's okay to be here. It's not okay to be here illegally. It's not okay to violate the laws of this country. We're going to enforce the law. That is why, with everything you're reading right now and all these horrific events, that's why we need more. We need the 10,000 officers that President Trump has promised, so we can go after these gangs even harder in the criminal alien population. We need the border wall. Border wall is one more tool in the toolbox that might prevent some of the things from happening. That is why what President Trump is asking us to do, that is what he's proposing for border security, makes sense to the law enforcement community. Not just Tom Homan at ICE, but the 20,000 men and women that work at ICE, the 20,000 Border Patrol agents that wear the uniform and step on the front line every day. We need this help. We need these executive orders to make sense of what we do every day.
Thanks so much, Tom. We really appreciate it.